Welcome to Blind Level Tech. This isn't just accessible tech talk. This is technology on a whole new level. We're showing you just how possible it is to live the life you want.
Greetings, everybody. I almost said good morning, but only because it is morning for me. But regardless of whatever time you happen to be listening to this episode, welcome to Blind Level Tech. I am your host, Evan Starnes, with a bit of nasty, gravelly voice here. That's definitely not ideal if you're trying to do a podcast, but we will have to make do. In any event, I do hope you guys enjoyed the episodes with David Redmond. And regarding the episode that we made with on iOS 19, well, we recorded that episode after they released their giant accessibility announcement for GAD, the Global Accessibility Awareness Day. And since then, there's been some crazy changes and things going on with iOS, including a change to the naming. So I should have called it accessibility improvements in iOS 26, because that's what they're changing it to. So I just wanted to throw that quick little announcement in. And also, what I've decided from here on out with the show, we will not be having a permanent co-host, but every so often, I'm going to invite a guest co-host on the show. And I figured, that'd be kind of a good way to kind of keep the show unique. Now, today's guest is John Romano. I don't need the R roll there, but I like it. But John Romano from the Disaster Center. And yeah, John, welcome to Blind Level Tech. Thanks for coming on the show with me today.
Thank you, Evan. Appreciate you allowing me to be here.
Absolutely. How's the morning treating you so far?
Pretty darn good. I'm every day I'm above ground and healthy and happy is a good day.
Nice. You said above ground. I was gonna do a stupid swimming pool joke, but I don't have one, so. I actually wanted to start a question that I used to ask a while ago. Do you have any particular device that isn't a phone that just stands out to you that you would recommend people get? Like, what's your favorite piece of technology right now?
Can it be a software? Does that have to be hardware, or can it be software?
No, it can be a software for sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I have to say Speechify, that little app put out by the App Store called Speechify. It's the greatest little thing because it reads my notes and I get to hear my notes, and it's got an OCR capability and it just reads my notes. I love it.
I'm curious how the OCR is, because I have not actually heard of Speechify before, and perhaps it's something I should check out. And our audiences should check out.
It's a great little app through the App Store, and you can upload documents into the app. The app, integrates very well with all sorts of documents, whether it's handwritten documents, pictorial documents,
PDFs,
and it just sits there and reads your handwritten text for you. And I've compiled a lot of my old notes with it, and I just love it.
Yeah, it sounds like a good way to, because I've heard of apps like Capti before. It sounds like a great little document reader. But yeah, with the OCR, that is really what sparks my curiosity. So we'll definitely be checking that out. Well, what would you? So you're a software developer first.
Yes, I wear two hats. I'm an executive director of a nonprofit organization for Disaster Central, as you mentioned earlier, and then I'm a technologist and a futurist, all combined. So I'm very interested in
I like that.
What's coming down the pike as a futurist. and, using my imagination and figuring out ways how we can apply technology to what's coming down the timeline, so to speak.
How did you get involved with technology first? What kind of started that whole thing? I don't like to say journey, but
Well, I in another life, and because I'm pretty old right now, in another life, I was a professional pilot, and of course, we just reveled in technology when it comes to the airplanes we flew, and nowadays all the airplane cockpits are what we call digitized, when they used to be the old steam gauges, what we call it steam gauges, but analog environments. So that
yeah.
whole environment has really evolved through the years. But I never lost my love for technology as a professional pilot when I transitioned into a new career.
Oh, gotcha.
Mhm.
And I feel like as a pilot, and I feel like with like aerospace technology, and you get to see a lot of really advanced ahead of, well, what we would consider ahead of its time technology, which is quite cool. I personally have always found like that kind of technology a little fascinating myself. You're the executive director at the disaster center. Are you the founder as well, or when did you start as a disaster center?
Yes, I'm the founder, uh, and a lot of people get the name mixed up a little bit. We're Disaster Central versus Disaster Center.
Disaster Central.
Correct. And so
Okay.
you can find us at
My bad.
that. No worries. You can find us at disastercentral.org. So the jumping off point for me when I got out of the aviation industry was Hurricane Sandy back in 2013, and I worked on disaster relief as a relief worker for about 2.5 years in the wake of that disaster. Not only was I a survivor of the disaster, but I also worked with a nonprofit organization addressing relief. And that was largely for the tri-state area, New Jersey, Connecticut, and New York.
Gotcha. When I was kind of looking at the notes that I have here, I see that you're an app developer and that you've created an app called, correct me if I'm wrong, Be Ready?
That is correct. That is correct. In
So,
the aftermath of that disaster, I saw a lot of things that I thought could be improved, particularly as it relates to a disaster survivor, and and not to mention more vulnerable populations and how we could do it better.
mhm.
And so that's what really led to me doing the research and conceiving the Be Ready app. And Be Ready app is, we see disasters in three different phases. That's preparedness, the navigation or response, and then the long-term recovery. So I said to myself, what out there could we create that could uh, result in a better end user experience for survivors? And I said, we've got all these great organizations out there called volunteer organizations active in disaster. We've got FEMA. We've got all the NGOs and nonprofit organizations that are stepping up to the counter and wanting to offer services and help in one form or fashion to disaster survivors. So I said, there's got to be a better way that we can sort of communicate who we are, what we're about.
Emergency situations, effectively.
Exactly.
Well, that too.
Exactly. And of course, that led to the population's access and functional needs and people with disabilities in one form or
Yes.
fashion. And I said, this is an excellent tool for that particular user group. And, we've got a cloud-based vault that can store their documents. We've got a mobile technology-enabled communication system where individuals with disabilities can communicate with their their own support network with the press of a button, just enabling, again, mobile technology in a way that fits the use case and needs of people with access and functional needs and disabilities.
Absolutely. And kind of cutting down those gaps, because there's, when it comes to emergency response and the way that we handle emergency situations, whether it be, flooding, fires, bad tornadoes, whatever it might be, there are a lot of gaps as far as communication when it comes to access and functional needs, as you say. What's most needed to help kind of fill in those gaps? Like, I know you said, you have a vault and you can store documents, and then the app also has a user-friendly method of communication as well.
That's correct. And there's two user flows built within the app. If you were a home workflow that develops a preparedness plan, think of the Be Ready app as a preparedness plan in your pocket, and where you can go in and edit it and update it, as needed, all on your mobile phone or your mobile device. So in essence, you have the ability to communicate with whether it be caretakers, stakeholders in the community to support these populations, and you can communicate with them through email, first responders, and text. And once you develop the plan, meaning it's all user-generated information. When we built the app, we built it with the idea in mind that we don't want to make this guidance too formulaic, but general, because the plan is designed to be customized by the user. So it takes a little while to build out the plan, but 15 minutes a week, and probably within a month you'll have a great plan ready to go, locked and loaded, ready to be used. God forbid, any sort of one-off emergency event or regional
Whatever situation arises.
Event. Exactly.
Absolutely. Now, kind of a bit more of an out there question, and this mostly really pertains to older adults and those that might not be as skilled with modern technology. I'm thinking iPhones and stuff. Are there avenues have you explored any avenues or explored other ways of reaching these people through this platform, but not necessarily on things like iOS/Android? Well, like mainstream smartphone tech, what I mean?
Right. And the app does run on both platforms.
Cool.
When we built the app, obviously we did a lot of user testing, and we, tried to make the interface as simple as possible when we built out the interface. But we understand that there's, people that are likely to be tech phobic a little bit. And, so in those situations, we encourage, if it's an elderly person, and guess what? I guess I'm an elderly person now, too. But I don't think about that.
Well,
but
somebody that's less skilled with technology.
Right, exactly. So we'll characterize it that way. That they do that with their caretaker. They work with a caretaker,
yes.
Get that information, user-generated information, put into the app, get it locked and loaded, and then have it ready. So not just the user, but it could be jointly, the plan could be developed by a caretaker. But honest to God, it's a very user-friendly environment because we were very careful to develop it that way. Simple workflows.
Now, is there a cost with this app? Because you have cloud services, I know.
Correct. We use the AWS platform and
Amazon
the
Web
cloud
Services.
component.
Yeah.
So right now we're in the process of, call it alpha beta testing, meaning we have the MVP, the minimum viable product, but we are looking to build alliances. We're having discussions right now with the state of Colorado Independent Living Center. We're talking with them next week about just deploying a pilot project using the app, because it's the type of thing you have to look at it like this. The analogy I use is a fishing analogy. So when you want to teach somebody to fish, you just don't hand them a fishing pole. The tool is great. You need the fishing pole. It's indispensable, right? But you also have to
Yeah,
teach
absolutely.
them, you know, why it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Preparedness is important in general. And what level of activity, and it's a mindset in a way, preparedness mindset, which I think in the disability community is already there. Probably less so in the abled community. I mean, I think the importance
Yeah.
of planning, understanding the importance of planning, and getting a plan in place. So we've tried to create this, this app that is a great big red easy button, so to speak. And
I like that.
but it has to come along with a little psychology or mindset and a little bit of education. So that's what we're doing in these pilot tests with the app. We're saying, come on down, people in the community, in this case, the state of Colorado, state level assisted living, the SILC and SILs of Colorado, Centers for Independent Living, and work with us. We'll give you the app free of charge. Work with us. Let's use further user studies, and let's couple it with a training program as well.
That's awesome. Well, I love the outreach you guys are doing. Now, if people would like to get their hands on the app, I figure App Store, Google Play, Be Ready. Just search for Be Ready.
Well, actually, we don't have it available on the stores right now. It's compatible with any
Gotcha.
shall we say, iPhone screen size, any screen size. So it effectively works on any mobile device. But what we've held back specifically making the app available in stores because we want to couple it with a training program and build a user base and get feedback and develop further iterations based upon the feedback we get.
So it's more than more of a kind of a web-based tool in a sense, like a web app of sorts, you could say?
It's a web app, yes. And like I say,
okay.
it looks like any app. Once you log in, it has an interface where
Right.
you log in and feature sets of an app. But again, we're holding off and introducing it to the iOS and Android environments,
The app stores,
until we call our program Dare to Prepare, and we want to work specifically with populations with access and functional needs and disability community.
absolutely. And I think too that this might make it possible for users of like non-standard devices such as the blind shell to be able to actually access the service too, which that was kind of why I asked the question about other avenues for accessing this platform. So since the blind shell has a web browser, that's pretty cool. It looks like you'll be able to access Be Ready as well.
Absolutely. We are looking for partners and collaborations, and with a little further testing, and particularly these alpha beta test environments, because we need feedback. It's a fully functional,
Absolutely.
workable app right now. However, as any minimum viable product that comes out on the market, it can always use additional user feedback and certain feature sets of the app.
Yeah, it's the best way to like directly from the community. We always ask for feedback on our podcast and stuff. So yeah, I definitely understand that.
Yeah, and again, the idea is to, when a disaster strikes or a one-off emergency strikes, is how can its user better interface with the community, resulting in a much better end user experience. And you hit the nail on the head when you say emergency response gaps.
Yes,
and people charged in the community are emergency managers, and if they need information and data, and the app has the ability to deliver that information once it's populated with the user generated information. It can deliver that information to a recovery shelter. It can deliver the information to a first responder. And by the way, let me just add, statistics show that 70% of your first responders in major disasters are family and friends. They're not the police or the firemen. Okay? So,
wow, I never considered that.
The onus is on the user to develop that network before a disaster. And that's why this is what we advocate in our Dare to Prepare classes and teach about centerpiecing the app, of course, making it much easier rather than pen and paper, to update the plan, to develop the plan to begin with, and then to enable and deploy the plan. And that's what the technology element does.
Gotcha. And that statistic is something I honestly had not considered. I always think, especially in a very catastrophic situation that you'll be, I don't know, rescued by a helicopter or something crazy like that. All the stuff that you see on the news. But I think probably really one of the best things you can do is work with family and friends. You don't it doesn't necessarily have to be, somebody that you would consider a caretaker, but just making sure that not only you have whatever information and tools and resources that you need, but that at least probably one or two friends or family has that information and access to it as well, so that you're not you're not stuck in a catastrophic situation alone, because that's never fun ever. So
well, the idea is not to avoid being institutionalized, and so when you
absolutely not.
Your information available at a recovery shelter, or you made it available to FEMA, or you've made it available to your neighborhood NGO, nonprofit, non-governmental organization, they're in a much better position to assist the user when that information is in the ready, so to speak, and can be conveyed to them via a fully encrypted link and given access to whomever the user decides to designate, when, to whomever and whenever.
Indeed. Well, on the topic of preparedness and readiness, I think I'm honestly ready to, I'm kind of surprisingly, for a morning, actually a little hungry. So I think I'm actually ready for a good old
sandwich of the week.
So have you actually, have you listened to this show before?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, we have a cute little section where because the show is called Blind Level Tech and BLT, we have to have some sort of sandwich element So we have this little segment where we pick a sandwich of any kind of sandwich and honestly, because I have to pick one every week, I have since run out, and I think my audience is probably bored with my sandwiches. I've gone to such extents as to consider things like s'mores and even hot dogs.
Oh.
So I actually do have, that being said, a pretty interesting and good sounding sandwich that I have not tried yet, but I recently discovered this. I call it a salad place, but it's an eatery called Modern Market Eatery. And, besides like really good salads, they also have things like pizzas and sandwiches as well. And my sandwich this week is called the chicken banh mi, and it has chicken, cilantro, pickled carrots.
Oh my God! You had me at BLT. I mean, that's my absolute most favorite sandwich.
Oh, so, and was that your sandwich of the week?
I guess so.
'Cause we can definitely say that.
Whether I have the supplies here in the household to make one, I don't know, but it's certainly one of great interest. But
oh yeah,
maybe,
for sure.
and I'm sure you've got some sort of soundbite that could probably advance that notion.
Well, no, but it's been a while since we've had a BLT sandwich of the week, so good one. I'm gonna call that. And most people have the materials and ingredients to make a BLT in their homes already, so it's such an easy and it's a comfort food. So
absolutely.
Well, very cool. Before we end the show, I wanted to just, because we're both very, well, you're a technologist. I like that word. We're both very technical, unrelated to the Be Ready app. You're a software developer. I'm curious to know what actually, like, what languages and stuff did you first actually start out in, and how'd you get into developing software in the first place?
Well, going back, I have to be candid. I can't characterize myself as a strict coder. I'm more of a business analyst.
Oh yeah,
meaning that's the person that develops out the requirements for other coders to develop. But that said, I'm quite familiar with HTML5, CSS, and various other languages that create. We've got in we build it. The app itself had to be built within frameworks that were compatible with all screens. That sort of thing. And
yeah,
the coding technology escaped my mind specifically what coding technology we used in the app, but it was over the years. I mean, we built our website in Drupal, which was basically CSS and HTML5 and the browser-based languages. So,
yep.
But I can't make claim to the fact that I am a coder. I'm more of a UI UX kind of guy, and developing workflows, and then dealing with the technology, the server technology, which MySQL, that sort of languaging, coding languaging, server serving up
Gotcha.
data.
Right on. Well, one more time, can you plug your website and tell us where we can find you and where we can get started with this Be Ready program?
Sure.
And the emergency training.
So our website is Disaster Central, just like it sounds, .org, and /contact if you want to reach out to us. On the website, we have in the video section of the website, we have captioned videos describing the Dare to Prepare program, and it's about a hour-long presentation. Kind of gives you a sense of the feature sets of the Be Ready app and how we approach preparedness in general. But also, I'd like to invite listener and viewers out there to participate in some of the planned projects we have under the Dare Prepare program, and to work with us in further development of the app, meaning future iterations of the app. As a minimum viable product, that's just what it is a minimum viable product. It has feature sets and functionalities associated with that, but we also need input to that. So please reach out to us at disastercentral.org and in our contact form on the website, and we'll be sure and send you out a sign-up link so you can start using the app immediately. And hopefully participate in our training programs as well. Get you on the calendar for our various training programs.
Absolutely. Well, David, thank you so much for coming on Blind Level Tech and giving us all of this information and talking tech as well.
Well, thank you, Evan. And Evan, I'm sorry, Evan. You're calling me David.
It's okay.
Calling you Evan.
I called you David.
Yes, you did.
I called you David.
But you warned me. You said
I knew it.
Already warned me.
I warned you. I knew it. I wasn't even thinking because I had my Teams thing went off. And I'm like, oh no. So
Evan,
John,
it gets
let's
worse as you
correct
get older.
this.
But don't worry about that.
Oh no, I'm only 23.
Oh my God, you've got so many years ahead of you.
No, that's not a good sign.
Oh no. You're doing all right. Don't worry.
I'm doing fine. We're going to keep that silliness in though, because it's, but John, thank you for coming on Blind Level Tech. Thank you for giving us all of this information. This is a wonderful program, and to the audience out there, definitely give them feedback, and I will definitely be looking into it myself, because right now I'm in a good spot here in Colorado, but gosh, I mean, over a year ago, where I live, we had things like the Marshall Fire, and if I'd lived here, I don't know what I would have done. So I think this is a good way to at least get kind of started and get some sort of plan, and it's one of those, you'll be glad that you did it once it's complete. You'll be glad you got the service set up.
Well, one thing, Evan, I might mention is we're going to open up discussion with Curtis Garrett over at the Atlantis community in Denver. And as you know, he does some virtual Zoom meetings the last Tuesday of every month. And so we're, join us on some of those meetings if your time permits. We'd love to have you there. And because that's going to be part of our rollout of our program, the Atlantis community in Denver.
Well, fantastic. And on the topic of feedback, definitely if you have feedback for us, podcast hosts, please share it with us. Always feel free to send an email to feedback@aftersight.org or leave us a voicemail at 720-712-8856. We very much value and appreciate your feedback and enjoy hearing. I love hearing from fellow listeners. Myself and our other hosts very much enjoy it as well. So, keep the questions and feedback coming. And with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to another episode of Blind Level Tech. Thank you again, John, for coming on the show. And We will catch you guys again next week.